So we'll head back up to the start then. This is the start of the women's under-17 Coxed 4B final. So the women's version of the event that we just saw. Out of lane 1, we'll pick them up off the line. Out of lane 1, it's Rowe, New Jersey. Lane 2, Port. Lane 3, Greenwich Crew. Lane 4, Miami Beach. Lane 5, Connecticut, and lane 6, Texas Center. And as we get a bit closer, we can see, no surprise, Connecticut with a nice start, David.
And looking to my left down the race course, I think these athletes, they're basically going to row into rain, as there's a distinct line that I'm looking at on the race course where the rain starts, and it's really in this last 500. So these women are going to row about 1,500 meters, and then they're going to find different weather conditions as they get into the last 500. But as you see, as they come through 500 meters, it's deadlocked up front between Connecticut Boat Club and Texas Center. And then third place at the moment looks like the boat from maybe Port is just slightly ahead of Greenwich, Miami Beach, and Rowe, New Jersey. So you see that building, that's about 650 meters into our 2,000-meter race course, and it is extremely close up front between, you see those bright green jerseys or unisuits and visors. That's Connecticut Boat Club. They might have taken a slight advantage on Texas Center, or their stroke for stroke, but looking up at the top of the race course, you still have Port in lane 2 in that white boat that looks to be slightly ahead at the moment of Greenwich Crew. Obviously, we've seen Greenwich Crew really show their team's depth in these events, and everybody's moving. Even lane 1 is starting to go. Rowe, New Jersey, everybody in the picture and still in this race, Colleen.
And Texas amongst them, maybe moving the fastest. I mean, look at Texas, who's now overtaken Connecticut. We'll get a sense of times. It looks like at 500 meters, it continues to be dead even, right? Connecticut and Texas, we can see from the splits, but Texas is definitely moving. So I think we can potentially expect to see maybe a flip at the next checkpoint. So Connecticut and Texas at 500, or at that last checkpoint rather, at the same speed. Texas on the move, threatening Connecticut in this B final, and then yes, just ever so tightly packed in the back, maybe with the exception of Miami Beach out of lane 4, who's a little bit off the pace from our leading boats, but look out Connecticut, because Texas is moving and leading.
Wow. All these crews are going to have to reset at 1,000. You know, if I'm a coxswain in one of these boats, I'm letting them know exactly where they stand at 1,000 meters and resetting and thinking about the boat speed in the third 500. It's Texas starting to assert themselves in lane 6 closest to the camera, but everybody else is right there. As you see them come through 1,000, it is about a length advantage for Texas, but then look how close it is between Connecticut Boat Club and Greenwich Crew, those two Connecticut boats, but also still connected are the boats from Port, and it looks like even Miami Beach, Rowe, New Jersey, all right there. You're going to see not very much time separating all of them as they come through 1,000 meters and approach the rain that's happening that they will find in the last 500 meters. But it's Texas, and they are out there, and they are trying to now go from basically starting to lead around 600 meters and trying to hang on all the way down. They did not qualify with one of the fastest times for this B final, but that doesn't really mean anything. These athletes are younger. It's an under-17 event, and they're getting another race under their belts, and it's the last race of the season. We're really seeing some speed out of Texas.
Yeah, really nice press. Texas has broken then into open water. Greenwich out of lane 3, keeping their bow in it, along with Connecticut, of course, out of lane 5. Looks like Greenwich out of lane 3 then, as we move through the course, is starting to assert dominance over Connecticut. So quite the battle happening between lanes 3 and 5, but Texas with the power move. They didn't have to be the fastest off the line. This is a 2,000-meter race, so lots of strategy from start to finish, and that power just really working for Texas. Then keep an eye over on the far side, keeping an eye on the port shell, along with Connecticut out of lane 5.
Yeah, so looks like Texas with those Lone Star flag blades right in front of us. Then it looks like Greenwich crew sitting in that second place in the middle of the screen there, but further away from the camera. And then it's Connecticut Boat Club closer to us in those bright green visors, dark boat, and just adjacent to them, one lane above them on the screen is Miami Beach. As they come through the last 500, we will see the splits, but it now is being pretty well dominated by Texas Center. But then it's still up for grabs without question behind them. You can see it's a 1 second gap between these rivals, Greenwich and Connecticut Boat Club, and Connecticut Boat Club only a second ahead of Miami Beach at that checkpoint. 500 meters to go as they row into the rain here at Nathan Benderson Park. It's Texas Center out front, maybe having the race of their season, and it's a good time to do it here in the B final at the 2021 U.S. Rowing Youth National Regatta.
Texas holds as they come into the last bit just before the 250-meter mark. Again, a nice press from them, and then a good move from Greenwich as well to pull themselves up as well. So as they get a little bit closer, we'll see exactly where the battle lies between these two Connecticut crews. Greenwich crew out of lane 3 and Connecticut out of lane 5. Texas, of course, will be looking to hold their lead, and not just hold it, but to extend it, right? So once you get that advantage and you can see the rest of the field behind you, you're in a final, you're in a winning position. Now is the time to really throw everything at it, both power and stroke rate to the extent that it can help you. So here come these athletes down the line. It is Texas and then really the rest of the field.
Yeah, Greenwich is the boat that's really trying to challenge Texas, but sitting in a solid second place is Greenwich, but now they're starting to really get pushed by Connecticut Boat Club and Miami Beach. So this is going to come down to the line. It is Texas hanging on to the first place position as they get into the last 20 strokes to the line. This is the women's 4 with Coxon, the under 17 women's 4B final, and it's Greenwich maybe moving away and putting themselves at least solidly into second place. But here comes Connecticut Boat Club, here comes Miami Beach. As they finish up this race, they're also all starting to track down Texas as well. Greenwich is making it very close up front with Texas, and it's going to come right down to that line. To my eye, it was just slightly Texas, but we'll see unofficially as they come through. Texas maybe just a foot ahead of Greenwich, who really put on the motor in the last 500 meters. Then it's Connecticut Boat Club, Miami Beach, and then Port ahead of Rowe, New Jersey. And as you see the splits, it's even less than half a second there between Texas and Greenwich.